Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. So today we're doing Organization Sora story. So I had to think about this a little more. The story might get a bit complicated, only because I don't know. So just please sit back, relax, and let's get started. So, just before we get started, I want to make this clear. Xehanort's not coming back in any shape or form. Now, the reason behind this is because it would make the story more complicated. So we're saying he's not, okay? So our story begins on Destiny Islands, when Sora is having his best life once more. Only in this story, there's no letter being sent from Mickey, because Xehanort's not coming back, so there's no real rush to take the Mark of Mastery exam. But suddenly, they're visited by an unexpected foe. Maleficent. Yes, Maleficent. I know she doesn't come to the islands in the story, but this is what's going to get her to cause Sora to turn and make his own organization. Sora and Riku would quickly put up their Keyblades. Maleficent would smile, because she believes she will win. And she actually kind of will, a bit. So, this is what's gonna happen. Just gonna summon like 500 Heartless who are going to invade the islands. Sora will begin to see this similar to the night in Kingdom Hearts 1 when Destiny Islands was taken over. So Sora and Riku will charge at Maleficent, but a big wave of Heartless splits them up. So, after like 2 hours on Destiny Island, it's kind of just all over. The Heartless are everywhere. It's kind of far too late. So, Sora will eventually discover something. Riku is now gone, and so is Kairi. He's the only one left on the island, and he doesn't know why. So, he's bitter, he's angry, and he decides he wants to go to Maleficent and stop her. So Sora eventually finds Maleficent, but she quickly gets out of there with the use of a dark corridor. Pete quickly arrives to try to finish Sora off, even though his chances probably aren't good. Sora would be bitter, angry. He's sick of Pete and Maleficent. Even more sick than he was of Ansem, maybe. So Sora stops holding back and takes on Pete. In a few minutes, Pete is out, and he is in real pain. He can barely control the Heartless anymore. Sora will grab Pete and toss him into his dark corridor. And Sora will yell from his anger. Sora begins to look around. It's over. The islands are destroyed. He decides he has to leave, but he doesn't have a way to leave, so he decides he has to become desperate enough to use a dark corridor. And that's what he does. He opens a dark corridor and tries to get to Jensen's tower. He arrives right outside of it, exhausted from the dark corridor. He feels hurt from it. He falls to the ground before he gets to the tower and realizes this could have been a mistake. Sora, as he walks to the tower, he feels every pain in his body. He feels anger, sadness, hatred towards Maleficent. Maleficent has done as more harm than Ansem, he believes. It's because she's always there. She's always doing her own agenda. Sora realizes she needs to be destroyed once and for all. As he's walking up the tower, he'll run into the good fairies. They'll say hello, but he'll walk past. His heart set on his mission, and nothing will literally stand in his way. Not even a simple conversation. When he gets to the top, he sees that Mickey and Jensen are there talking. And Mickey is confused to see Sora. Glad, but confused. Sora is stony. He feels heartless. He'll explain to all of them what happened on Destiny Islands, and he has no idea where Mickey and Riku and Kairi are. Mickey will be in shock of what happened to the islands. Mickey will also become curious and ask Sora how to get to the tower from the islands without a gummy ship. Sora will reply, "I did what I had to do." Mickey's eyes will become wide, wondering what Sora had to do. Sora walked up to Yen Sid and said that the time had come to get rid of Maleficent once and for all. Yen Sid agreed that Maleficent was a real problem, but we shouldn't use our anger to destroy her. Sora will become enraged, not knowing what that meant anymore. She said that she had caused enough pain and that she needed to be taken out. Mickey will become a bit disturbed at Sora's new behavior. He'll look at Yen Sid, who then looks at Mickey. They both know something's wrong. Sora will demand that Yen Sid hands over any secrets that Sora could use against Maleficent. Yen Sid will refuse, saying that Sora wasn't thinking straight, and this mission was suicide. Sora didn't care. He was about to lose his cool. Mickey put his hand on Sora to try to comfort him, but Sora quickly reacted in the most horrible way. He grabbed Mickey's arm and tossed Mickey at Yen Sid. Both of them would be knocked to the ground. Yen Sid would be confused with what was going on. He would try to fire something at Sora, but Sora would quickly block it. Then he declared if they weren't with him, they were against him. Mickey jumped back into action quickly to turn on his Keyblade. Mickey and Sora started fighting. Mickey said that they shouldn't be fighting, and Sora said, "Don't care." He hit Mickey in the head with his Keyblade, causing Mickey to become unconscious. Yen Sid would believe the time was over, and he would put all his magic into one spell. Sora did a similar thing, as he began to concentrate all his darkness into a single blast. He blasted at Yen Sid, destroying him. Yen Sid was blasted out the window and fell to the ground of his tower. The good fairies would hear the explosion and run up. They would see what Sora had done. And Sora then would force the three of them to help him find anything that could help them in the tower. Reluctantly, they were forced to help him. Somewhere else, Riku wakes up and he's at Disney Castle. He's confused of what happened, but then it all floods back to him. He then runs into Doll and Goofy, who are shocked to see him. Riku informs them of what happened, and they tell him they should probably go see Yen Sid. When the three of them get to the tower, well, it's not a tower anymore. The tower is in ruins. Sora had destroyed what was left of it after he had gone. Of course, the three of them don't know this, but yeah. They would find Mickey. He's still unconscious. They try to wake Mickey up, but it's no use. He was knocked out really cold. Elsewhere, Sora now has loads of information of what to do. He realizes it's going to be very difficult to actually defeat Maleficent all on his own, and he knew none of his friends would help him. So he was forced to go to outside sources. He first discovered, thanks to the good fairies, that there was three people inside of his heart: Roxas, Xion, and Ventus. He knew he couldn't do Ventus yet, but he also knew that Vanitas was kinda in there as well. So he freed Xion, Roxas, and Vanitas and put them under his control. He quickly told them what the plans he had in store, and he sent them about to recruit new members. Sora then personally went to visit Xigbar, who was now a Breg at the time. Breg was definitely confused to see Sora, but Sora promised him that he would be treated fairly if he helped him in his cause. Xigbar / Breg agreed, and said he could probably help get some more allies to help Sora. They recruit Vexen, Demyx, Marluxia, and Larxene. Then he decided to get his digital heartless that he knew, thanks to interrogating the good fairies, that Mickey had fought. He was able to go back in time thanks to some stuff he learned from Yen Sid to help him go back in time and get him back. He also got his younger self to help him. Who better to help him than himself, am I right? He only needed 2 more people. The other 2, he didn't know if this would be easy or hard to get, so he decided he was going to take a chance. So he decided to have Xigbar lure Riku to, let's just say, the world that never was. Riku, Udon, and Goofy are forced to follow, because Xigbar says he knows where Sora is. Now, remember at this point they don't know, he's went nuts, so they decide to follow Xigbar, because they think Sora is his prisoner. When they get there, they confront some of the old organization members, and they even confront Sora's digital Heartless, which Donald and Goofy will recognize. But after a while, they'll get to the chamber where the organizations had their meetings, where Xigbar will be waiting for them. She said it was about time they got there. Riku would ask what this was all about, and Xigbar said they were just testing him to see how good his resolve was. Riku didn't understand what he meant, but then he saw to his horror many more people began to arrive in the seats. Xigbar, Vexen, Roxas, Xion, Vanitas, Sora's Darkness, someone else in a hood, Marluxia Larxene, and Demix. There was like 3 seats missing. Well, not missing, but people not sitting in them. Riku was confused, and Xigbar's like, meet the new organization. And then Sora appeared in the top seat. Riku was confused. Sora would explain that he didn't want to hurt Riku, that the others were just rough around the edges. Riku would ask what was going on, and Sora said what was going on was the end of darkness. Riku and Donald and Goofy wouldn't understand what this meant. Well, Sora said that the islands were gone. Maleficent had destroyed them. Riku gasped because he had no idea what happened. He was sent off-world when the attack happened. So, Sora would say that the only way to defeat this darkness as powerful as Maleficent was to fight darkness with darkness. Riku couldn't believe what Sora was saying. It was like in Kingdom Hearts 1 when Riku was evil, only now the tables had literally turned. Sora offered Riku a spot, since they needed 2 more members. Riku asked Sora if he was out of his mind. Sora would frown, saying it looks like he knew the answer. He would snap his fingers, and Roxas and Xion would teleport down to try to get rid of Riku, Donald, and Goofy. Sora said he was sorry, but he knew Riku would try to stand in his way. Riku, Donald, and Goofy began to try to fight Roxas and Xion. Both of them were formidable Keyblade wielders, which made it more difficult for Riku to fight. After defeating them, Sora decided to deal with this himself. He teleported down with darkness and took out his Keyblade. He kicked Riku to a wall and was about to release Riku's heart. But something happened. Sora's Keyblade vanished. He didn't understand, and then he realized his Keyblade had lost interest in him, kinda. Or more precisely, the Keyblade didn't want Sora to wield it anymore. In Riku's other hand, and Sora's Keyblade appeared. Sora's eyes went wide. Anger filled him. Once more, Riku had stolen his Keyblade. He jumped back and began to shoot dark fire at Riku. Riku began to dodge it and block it. Sora became angry and told the rest of the members they were leaving. They quickly all teleported out of there to search for their final 2 members. When Riku got back to Yensid's Tower of Donald and Goofy, the tower was already being rebuilt thanks to the good fairies. Yensid and Mickey had also regained consciousness. All 5 of them compared notes of what happened with Sora. Mickey was astonished of what Sora did. He didn't like it, but he was kinda in awe that Sora was even able to even think of doing all this. So Jensen said that they would have to act quickly. He told Riku and Mickey that they would have to go and search for Master Aqua, while Donald and Goofy would have to stay here and protect the realm of light on their own. There was arguing about this to begin with, but they soon realized they had no choice.
So that's it for now, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll give you part 3 at some point, so I'll subscribe and I'll see you all next time.